For me, this has been a really enriching 2.5 days. I've just looked over some of these cards, and it's incredibly encouraging, the feedback that we're getting. And there's some very useful information in here, and some of these commitments we hope to continue. I mean, there's a number of participants have said that this needs, from the start, collaboration and engagement, and that's exactly why we had this workshop. We didn't come here with a plan, we didn't come here with a pre-cooked idea of what we were going to do. Really, we came here to listen to what you need. And there's a number of, all the groups are providing great information. Some of these cards are providing input to that process, but one of the things I take away from it is that even just simple things can help you. We have massive amount of climate information available. So if we can just provide simple means of you being able to see what the kinds of climates are in the areas where the target environments where you're breeding for, then that's useful. So I think my takeaway message here is we'll start simple and try and develop a few kind of quick, easy tools that you can use to get better climate information for your target environments, and from there we go into more and more detail with the modeling and see where it goes, to what extent with the modeling we can also help all the way down to these zoom-ins and designing of idiotypes. So we'll do a few case studies there, and so we certainly now come away with this with a better idea of how we can potentially provide a little bit of help. I'd just like to say you have a massive responsibility on your shoulders. I'm a modeler. I work on the projections of how climate change will impact on agriculture. And here in Africa, it's scary, some of the results coming out. And so when Southern Africa with maize, for example, in Southern Africa, with predictions of 40 to 60% reductions in yield in some places, that's massive, and the impacts that can have on people's livelihoods, on poverty, is tremendous. And so you have, as breeders, a massive responsibility to help provide those farmers with the basic material to maintain their livelihood. So you have a massive responsibility, and we have a massive responsibility. And so we really want, through a partnership, to work and work with you, and you work with us to help address this. So please do call on us when you need things, and we'll try and help as much as we can. And as I said, we'll start out with some simple little things that will help you. As a concrete output from this workshop, what I'd like to do is actually get a kind of publication out of it. I think we've had a lot of very rich discussion and some great information coming out, especially from the crop groups in the yesterday. And so I'd like to develop that. What I was thinking is have a few editors, and we'll be in touch about that. But then for each of the crops, have every participant that's been here as an author on a 4 to 5 page or 6 page kind of review of the challenges for crops. For each of your crops, and so we'll put the process in place for that to happen. And with the leaders of the groups, we'll get the information, see what we have, what needs complementing, and get that process going. So we hope for all of you, with your permission, to be a part of that publication, and we'll get that out in early 2012. And we'll also use that to kind of develop a little bit of a vision over the next 4 years of what we can be doing to support breeders in developing these climate smart strategies. The big commitment that I ask of you as breeders is that, first of all, if we produce things that are useful to you, that use them, and second, if we can provide all of these analyses, and we can develop kind of together with you these plans and strategies, so then work within your institutions for those plans and strategies to be used and to be adopted. So that's certainly where we would expect, at least on this institutional side of things, we really want to work with you in getting these things on the radar screen. And so Well, the way we see this working is over the next few years we develop we identify the problems that the crops have, we identify from a breeding perspective what the key traits, the key ways of going about solving those problems, and that those plans and strategies then get adopted and funded. And so we don't have the money to fund that, but what we can do is through organizations and through our contacts with donors and the regional organizations saying, look, this is what's needed. If you want to address climate change in Africa, this is one great way to do it. And so that's where we see ourselves going with this. So hopefully at the end of this, in 3 or 4 years' time, what we have are clear crop-based strategies for the region that are now in the hands with donors, with funding agencies, and are getting investment, and then you taking over and really doing what you do best on the breeding. So that's how we hope this to happen, to move along. I would thank a lot Eric and all of the students for coming along. I mean, we're talking about the future. Eric said it. We're talking about the future, and the future's in the next generation of breeders. And so one of the concrete actions that we've agreed upon over these last 3 days is in WACI in the University of Ghana to have a module on this kind of modeling and climate tools that so that breeders themselves can be using these to better target their work. And so we'll work on that over the next year as well. That's what I hope we go for we move towards this from here. So I'd just like to thank all of the participants. This is the end of the workshop. We have the field trip now, but I hope that from this we can keep a group going and a kind of community of practice to develop these things together over the next few years. And so this is definitely not the end. This is the kind of work in progress, and we keep going on this. So thank you to all the participants, but also a big thank you to the Ethiopian Institute for Agricultural Research, especially Dr. Defris, who for hosting this, and Dr. Mamo Girma for all of the support that we've had from the Ethiopian program here, and we look forward to seeing in the field a little bit what's going on. I for one, my knowledge of Ethiopia is from the airport to Ilri, and so now I think over the next 4 hours I'll increase by about tenfold my experience of Ethiopia. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But also a big thank you to the logistics people. So Tabitha, Catherine, and Marine, who behind the scenes have been organising all of this. We were a bit late sending out, kind of defining dates for a number of reasons. Things were moving around, and it did a fantastic job in such a short time to organise this, and all of the support we've had from Hillary here on hosting this. It's been really fantastic. This is a great place to have a workshop for sure. And then the facilitating team who've done a fantastic job here. Elwyn with mastering the mic. He had the most difficult job this morning because I could see that people were pretty slow. I was, for one, very, very slow this morning. And he did a great job in motivating you, and he kept that energy going, which was impressive. And then also the people that have been taking notes, taking photos, doing videos. So we're going to have all sorts of also outputs coming from this, videos, and we'll have the notes coming out and the report from the workshop. And so that's been, and excuse me the pronunciation here. I'm not very good on Ethiopian names. We have Sehai, Zerihun, Lida, and this is the most difficult. Aitacho. Okay, so I'd like to thank them as well for all the energy that they put into this. So without further ado, in 2 minutes we go on the bus. So thank you very much for participating.